Hey, Quinn, did you hear Jim Bunning's retiring?
Oh no! Welcome to Hotline TV. I'm Quinn McCord.
And I'm John Mercurio. Okay, Jim Bunning retired yesterday, throwing a curveball to political observers. So, Quinn, is this game going into extra innings? Can Democrats hit a grand slam, and can Republicans avoid making any errors? Our own Dr. Politics, Quinn McCord, is taking the mound. All right, Quinn McCord, talk to us about this game, if you will, the game of politics that will be the Kentucky Senate race.
Well, one thing is clear. This was going to be a race about Jim Bunning, and it is obviously not going to be a race about Jim Bunning anymore.
You won't see the Republican candidate running to continue the legacy of Jim Bunning's 2 terms in office.
Probably not. And, I think the first couple questions I would have is how clear a primary field will Secretary of State Trey Grayson, the Republican, get?
Right. Will he have to run against Ron Paul's son?
He probably will, but, I think it's a question of, will Mitch McConnell and NRSC, will they openly endorse Grayson? Will they just kind of behind the scenes sort of back him?
Exactly.
And my other question is on the Democratic side, Attorney General Jack Conway,
right, and
Lieutenant Governor Dan Mangiardo,
2 statewide office holders, as you just mentioned, who run ahead of Trey Grayson in recent polling.
Yeah, although barely close. I think right now all these people are sort of just getting their base.
Okay. And
none of them ever really have the name ID to sort of go beyond that. I think the first question though will be, Mangiardo's kind of falling behind in the money race. And will he be able to make that up over the next quarter or two?
Right. All right, let's talk about the state itself, though. Kentucky, a Republican state, Obama only got 41%.
Yeah.
When's the last time a Democrat ran and won an open seat race? Obviously, Bunning won narrowly in '98 when he ran against Basler, but before that...
Well, there hasn't been an open Senate race since then until, I guess, '72, actually.
Okay.
Back when it was a very different state.
Sure.
So, but, the thing is, the presidential level, Kentucky's very Republican. At the senatorial level, it kind of leans Republican. But, heck, Jack Conway got 60% of the vote when he ran for Attorney General. The Bashir Mangiardo ticket got like 58%, know.
Okay.
So, Kentuckians are certainly willing to vote for Democrats statewide. A little less likely to vote on the senatorial level, but, I think a lot's going to depend on the environment, the atmosphere in 2010.
Well, I think what we know is we're seeing across the board for midterms in 2008, unless the issue is the incumbent running for re-election, which is, had been the case with Bunning.
Yeah.
Bunning would have been the issue if he was running for re-election. He stepped down. The issue, if it's not the incumbent running, it almost automatically becomes Obama. It almost becomes a referendum on Obama. And again, in a state where Obama got just 41%, I think it really presents a much steeper climb for Democrats.
That's true. I think if you go in saying that campaigns don't matter, you assume the Republican will probably win. Just because of the nature of the state, it's a midterm.
I've always said campaigns don't matter.
Well,
who cares about campaigns?
No, and sometimes campaign analysts don't matter either. Ooh, ouch.
Not true, Dr. Politics.
No,
not true.
Thank you. I think you've used Dr. Politics.
No.
Me more, a nurse or something. But anyways. Anyways, though, a completely level playing field. I think a Republican will win a Kentucky Senate race. But, these are all untested candidates statewide.
Yeah.
Yes, they've won statewide on their own, so they have some seasoning, but they haven't undergone the scrutiny that senatorial candidates. And so, I think, if it turns out maybe Grayson is weaker than we thought and Conway's this great campaigner, that could level the playing field a bit.
All right, let's just, to close up, how did Bunning get to this point? 8 years ago, or 12 years ago, he won narrowly in a race. Everybody knew at the time that he was sort of a jerk, that he wasn't somebody who people liked. He was already serving in Congress from a northern Kentucky district, and he was already known as somebody who was sort of cantankerous, not easy to get along to, but the environment at the time allowed him to run a very expensive campaign. He ran television ads across the state, outspent Basler, I think, 2-1 or something like that, and ultimately won because he was able to sort of create this air war impression of him as a caring conservative with the photographs of his wife. How do you get from that to the point where even your Republican colleagues in the Senate want you gone?
Well, listen, I can say this. My dad is from Kentucky. He's the exact same age as Jim Bunning.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes people get sort of grumpier as they get older.
Wow. Well, this is more about you and your personal family issues, and I was hoping to focus mostly on Kentucky politics.
Well, but there is a connection. I do have some Kentucky roots. And, I think, God bless Jim Bunning. I think he's just kind of a crotchety older fellow.
But also a big friend of the show, so we appreciate him watching.
I'm sorry, Jim, if you're watching. You know, I mean, as people go through life, maybe they stop less caring what people, not caring as much what people think of them.
Well, I don't care what you think of me.
Well,
so I guess I'm sort of at that point
yeah,
myself.
I mean, the advanced age that you've hit now.
Exactly.
I don't know how old you are, but it's up there.
It's certainly up there. Wow, what a show. What a show. We didn't even get to finish all the stuff we want to, but I think we are running out of time. So we will end the show right now. So until next time, thanks for watching Hotline TV.
And I'm Quinn McCord. We're so glad you came today.